I think the reason why we chose Wednesbury, apart from being born and bred here, is we understand the people. We understand really what makes them tick, but more so, we know that the skill pool is there that enables us to do our jobs. It really is linchpin to this area, that we can get people who will be able to make us take the company forward. The reality of it is that the company is nothing without good staff, and we find those good staff here in Wednesbury. Why would we want to move away? I think the most favourite part of my work is certainly involved with concerts, and it's seeing the audience reaction, because if you know that you've helped pull that show together in terms of the way it looks and the way it sounds, and you look at the faces of the people really enjoying themselves, that gives you some great satisfaction. The parts I hate the most, well, that's got to be loading trucks at 4 o'clock in the morning. You never escape it. It doesn't matter what you do, you're going to do incredibly long hours in this job. We really have a wide variety of jobs, and it's a standing joke here that job descriptions are actually written on loo rolls because we continually add to them. If you work here, you may be working in one of three areas, but the predominant two really are the events side and of course the manufacturing of the loudspeakers. If you're looking at manufacturing loudspeakers, there's specific skills: woodworkers, technicians, metalworkers and so forth, actually assembling and testing the boxes. If you're looking at events, then we use a variety of specific skills again, but they're often sound engineers, lighting engineers, videographers. We really try to pull all of those skills together, which enables us then to have multi-skilled people who can turn around to pretty much anything we need. A lot of the work we do now involves CAD design, and this is an amplifier module which will be used with the loudspeakers. As you see, we're able to model it completely in form of software, which enables us to slimline the process of design and also reduce the manufacturing costs. Directly, we employ about 8 people, so it's quite small. We're expecting that number to almost double next year as the loudspeaker manufacturing process kicks in. But also we employ a lot of freelancers because obviously during an event we may need 15 or 20 people who come in on a freelance basis, often the same people, but they just come in to work on specific events. We formed Natural Music around about 20 years ago, and the company actually splits into 3 parts. We have a record label which specialises in world music. We have a second part of the company which is effectively an events company, and we do all kinds of events. They range from conferences to corporate events and also big concerts in places as large as Wembley Arena and the NEC. And thirdly, we have a new part of the company, and that's called HRA. We manufacture loudspeakers. It's brand new to us and it's very exciting, using local people. Looks quite interesting. First part of our company was actually Natural Music. It's a record label and it specialises in world music, and in particular Bhangra. We've had quite a bit of success. Artists all the way around the world have had chart success, in particular Punjabi MC, which was a #1 hit in 7 different countries throughout the world, and it actually got to #5 in the UK charts. It was actually the first Bhangra track to manage to reach the UK charts. We have a number of artists and we continue to expand that also into digital media as well, because people aren't buying quite so many CDs now as they used to. But it's an interesting thing. It's run predominantly by my partner in the business, Ninda Johal. The second part of our company is actually Natural Corporate Communications, and we do all kinds of events ranging from conferences up to corporate events and awards evenings. It's quite a variety of work we do, and we work with many artists but also of course many large companies who use our technical abilities of sound, lighting and staging to put on quite spectacular events. Based in Wednesbury is quite a good place to be because there's a very good skill pool of people here. We find that people really are willing workers. They're keen to learn, and particularly the youth in the area. They're very happy to jump in and perhaps do things that maybe older people wouldn't want to do. They're very long hours doing this job, but it's never ever a problem because we do have a very good skill pool, and that's why we believe that our connection with the community is so important. The third and final part of the company is called HRA. It's very new and it's very exciting for us because it's the first time we've ever actually manufactured a product. And what we're actually doing is manufacturing our own range of loudspeakers. They're actually a world-class product, and we've set up a dealership throughout the world so that these will literally be sold globally. We're very proud that they're made in England, but more so, we're even happier to say that they're made in the Black Country, predominantly here in Wednesbury, where many of the components are sourced. The skill pool here has been very good in that respect because manufacturing is in the DNA of local people. Their parents and their grandparents have all had experience in these areas, and we're finding that very useful because they're quite in tune with the kind of things that we do. The loudspeakers will be sold, as I say, globally, so we've got quite high hopes to expand and take on a number of extra people, all from this local skill pool. I think my main interest in anything to do with audiovisual really came from when I was at school, and it was literally setting up little lighting systems, little sound systems. At the time, of course, it was all cassettes, it was reels of tape, it was vinyl, and we didn't really have any knowledge of computers. Although I did IT at school, we didn't actually have a computer there, so it was a very interesting lesson. It enabled me to progress and learn at a pace that was appropriate. It gave me a fair understanding of how the process has evolved over the years, and of course now we really are into digital media. It isn't very often that we actually need to use cassettes or tapes anymore in the studio. Of course, everything is recorded directly to computers. Everything has evolved considerably. But the one thing that has stayed constant, I think, is the skills of the people who are enabling us to make these recordings, the artists, the musicians. We have a great skill pool of musicians in this area. If you look back historically, many of the big bands, UB40, Slade, awful lot of those bands all came from within a few miles of Wednesbury. After leaving university, I had a small stint in local radio doing some broadcast things, not actually broadcasting to people, but making commercials. Shortly after that, I actually went to work for a company called Gazebo Leisure, and that was in Aston in Germany. Aston's rather like Wolverhampton, it's quite similar to here. But it gave me good experience in areas of sound, lighting, and to some extent video. On returning, we started a company called Midland Sound Services, which was actually based in Wednesbury. We had a recording studio there and rehearsal rooms, and actually many local bands got to know us very well. One of our more famous bands perhaps that rehearsed there was a band called the Charlatans, who are still doing well today. It's been an interesting career path really, because you have to evolve. You can't stand still in business, you can't stand still in life. You need to be able to multi-skill, and you need to constantly be able to learn and upskill. And I think that's something perhaps that I've managed to do over the years, as in common with everybody else. I'm certainly not alone doing that. I think one skill that I've learned is that you need to evolve. You need to progress, and you need to learn new trades, new skills, and adapt to the way the marketplace changes. It's very important that you stay in tune with processes and new methods that come online constantly. Social media and things like that are quite new really, but of course we've all adapted to them quite quickly. And it's understanding how you must adapt that really keeps you in that skill pool and makes you a viable person to employ.
My name is Kieran Ryan. I work for Natural Corporate Communications, or Natural Event Productions. When I was about 18 at the time, I did a short 2-week sort of internship here. It was while I was sort of starting university at the same time. I needed to get some experience. And the Natural told me that when I finished my degree, to come back and see if there'd be any positions available. When I started college, I did a music practice course, and that was sort of like involved music technology, involved doing music performance and stuff, so I got really interested in that. When I went to university, I did a similar thing in music production, and in the third year I specialised in music business. And when I got to the music business side, I realised that I wanted to get into the event where I would be around music and sound, either as a technician or just something creative. I came back after I finished my degree, and I started working on sort of an apprenticeship type basis, and after about a year I did so well that they invited me to come on permanently. And because like the work I do here involves like video editing, and I've like designed some logos and images and stuff, it's all like sort of exposes a creative part of the brain, and I really enjoy that. My role's sort of differed as long as I've been here. I'm currently a business development executive, so I work in a number of areas, a lot of office-based admin roles. I work on pretty much all the events we do, either as a technician, setting up gear, taking it down. I also do video editing at the moment. I'm editing videos for a number of different clients. Well, if we have an event on in the week, well, I'll have a couple of days where I know I'm doing office-based work, setting up spreadsheets and setting up all the sort of, say if there's an event where there's presentations needed, I need to make sure I email the clients, get everything they need for the event. If there's any videos I need, set it all up so we're all prepared. They're all on the available laptops. I know towards nearer the event, we'll then have to prep all the gear in the warehouse. So we have to set up, make sure it's all working fine before we go out, test all the lighting and sound equipment. Then on the day of the event, we'll probably have to wake up at a stupid hour in the morning, get to the event like sort of a couple hours before it starts, set up all the equipment and prepare for the show. Then after usually the show is actually the least stressful part because this all just flows after that. And then after the show is finished, obviously pack down the gear, come back here, unload it. And if there is any time left in the week, come back and do the admin stuff and perhaps some video editing as well. Well, what I like about it is that every day I come in, it's something completely different. I know throughout the week I'll be working on several different projects. I might be doing a bit of video editing one day. We might have an event, so I might have to go out on that one of the days. And definitely the best thing is the variety, because if there's one thing I don't like, it's like the monotony of doing the same thing over and over again every single day.